This might be why your child is not receiving an IEP for their ADHD. My name is Kendall. I have ADHD. I'm an ADHD educator. This partly depends on where you live. If you live in the US, there is a 504 and an IEP, and they have different jobs. If you live in Canada, we only have IEPs or IPPs, and they serve the role of both the 504 and the IEP. But first, we have to talk about the difference between accommodation and modification. An accommodation changes how the child engages with their learning and how they demonstrate their learning, but it doesn't change what they are learning. A modification, on the other hand, changes what a child is learning. A 504 is for accommodations. It does not modify or change what the child is learning. An IEP modifies curricular outcomes. So as an example, if a child needs reduced workload, like completing 20 questions instead of 40, that's an accommodation. It's a 504. If a child needs to be working on 1-by-1 multiplication instead of 3-by-2 multiplication, that's a modification, that's an IEP. For many students with ADHD who don't also have a learning disability or who are academically at grade level, a 504 plan is the right fit. And they don't need an IEP because they don't need the curriculum to be changed for them. In Canada, kids with ADHD should be able to access an IEP, but this isn't always the case, like in BC and Ontario and Quebec. But I stand firmly on the belief that kids with ADHD should have a 504 in the US or an IEP in Canada, even if they aren't behind academically.